Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you could join me today. My name is Jen of Jen's Organized Life, where my motto is preparation brings peace. Today I have a Sunday reset video for you where I'll share with you some cleaning, restocking, planning, and organizing. So sit back, relax, and get inspired. Welcome back, everybody. So the first thing I'm going to show you today is how I clean my makeup brushes. You can see here that I use a product called Echo Tools, and I will just preface this by saying most of the products you're going to see today have all been purchased on Amazon. And I'd also like to apologize for my voice. I woke up this morning with a head cold. How does that happen in August? I'm absolutely baffled. But just showing you here, I get the soapy water ready, I soak my brushes, and then I use my face sponge, take a bar of soap. This is an antibacterial soap, and I really start to scrub and try to get all the foundation and concealer out of my sponge. Does anybody else use a face sponge? I use brushes, but then I kind of soften everything with the face sponge. This mat here that you see that I'm going to use to scrub my brushes, and yeah, you can see the water there. It's really gross. I got that at Amazon, and this stand here also Amazon purchased many years ago. I have been using this system here for quite a while, and basically I just take each brush and I scrub it over this mat. It has little ridges, different style of ridges on there, and it helps really get into the brushes and get all the gunk out. So I do that for each one of these brushes, and some of the brushes will need extra cleaning, as you'll see. And you can see that water. Isn't it gross? It's crazy what's in your brushes. If you don't clean your brushes regularly, I highly encourage you to do it. If you wear makeup every day, maybe clean your brushes once a week. If you wear makeup less than that, you obviously could get away with stretching it out. I only wear makeup when I go out of the house, to be perfectly honest, so I tend to wash my brushes about every other week. So today I was able to show you guys how I do this. And as you can see there on the mat, man, there's a lot of gunk that comes out of these brushes, but that's why we clean them, right? And this particular mat, like I said, it's got those ridges on it, and it's got suction cups, so you can kind of hang your mat afterwards to let it dry like this. And once I've got all of them cleaned, I put them into some I put them into some water to get the extra soap out, and give them a good rinse, and then I set them out to dry. And for this foundation brush here, I realized really quickly it was not clean. So rather than get the mat out again, I just put some more soap on it and just scrubbed it on my hand. If you don't have a mat, this is absolutely an acceptable way to clean your brushes. The bottom line is you just want to get all of that gunk out of there. And so next what I do is I have this kind of drying cloth. It's actually like a makeup removing cloth, again on Amazon. And I use it to dry the brushes just to give them a head start on getting all that water out. I like to wash my brushes first thing when we get home from church so that it gives them time to dry, and then by the time I go to bed, I can put my makeup brushes back with all of my makeup products. And this towel and this holder here really help that along. So do you guys have any favorite makeup products, or do you wash through your brushes regularly? If so, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what everybody else is using. Maybe you have a better product than I do, and I'd love to try it out. And here you go. You can see how it looks with all the brushes in the stand, and I'll let them sit for several hours to let them dry. Now moving on along, I am switching over to jewelry cleaner. This is by Wegmans, and I've used it for years. One jar is like $10, and I swear it lasts a really, really long time. I think I bought this 6 to 8 months ago, and I'll preface this by saying I don't wash my jewelry all the time, but I try to do it maybe once a month if I can. My schedule's been a little bit off. I had surgery at the beginning of July, and so I'm really behind on cleaning my jewelry, and my rings and everything especially were looking really yucky. So as you saw there, I put the jewelry into the cleaner and I set my timer for 10 minutes. You can use the cleaner really anywhere from like 5 minutes or even more than 10 minutes. Just depends on how dirty your stuff is. Once the jewelry comes out of the cleaner, you just give it a good rinse, and then you can dry everything and use a polishing cloth, which I'll show you here in just a minute. And what I like to do is I like to clean my gold jewelry all together and then like my silver jewelry all together. I believe it instructs you to do that on the package. I think it's just a way to kind of like not cross-contaminate. And you can see how shiny it makes everything. It does come with this little brush, and here I'm just polishing up my cross because I'm planning to wear it this week at work. And yeah, it makes everything really nice and shiny. So again, this is like an extra. This is not something you have to do every week, but I was planning to do it anyway, and I thought I would bring you along. Do you guys like take any special care with any type of products besides jewelry? I know that I also, and I didn't film it for this video, but I like to also clean out my hairbrushes and combs on the weekend. I have naturally curly hair, and I use quite a bit of product, you know, to keep it from getting frizzy and flying all over the place. So I like to make sure that my brushes get cleaned so that, you know, starting that off fresh. And this is a polishing cloth here. I use this after I've dried everything off, and it's just one little extra thing that helps to get kind of the gunk out of in between the little crevices. And once I have gotten the jewelry all cleaned up, dried, and polished, I like to go ahead and just get it straight back into my jewelry box so that I'll have it ready to go for the week. And as you can see here, I've been very blessed to inherit some brooches from my grandmother and also my husband's grandmother. And I'm really looking forward to the day when I can give these to my daughter and to my niece so that they have a little piece of their grandparents, their grandmother especially, to carry on with them. And once I've got my rings and my earrings put away, I go ahead and I get my necklaces hung up. And with all the jewelry put away, I then take a look in the bathroom and see if there's anything I need to restock. This particular day, I needed to restock Q-tips, and I also needed to restock the cotton rounds, which I use every single day. These are called Swispers. I get them at Costco, and it's just cheaper to get them there. You get like 900 of them for $10, so you can't beat it. Next, I go ahead and I'm moving on to the planning phase. So I pull up my Google Calendar and I start to look at what is going to be happening in the coming week. I then get my Kindle Scribe out and I start to write up a weekly plan. And if you haven't seen my Kindle Scribe video, it is a very, very short overview of how you can use your Kindle Scribe as a planner. And I am planning a video very shortly with a full tutorial on how you can use your Kindle Scribe as a planner, and I'm really excited about it because this has been so life-changing for me, and I love it so much. There's so many options you can use with their features. And once I have kind of written out what the days are, what the big stuff is that's happening that week, like any appointments, or I write down my daughter's work schedule just so I'm aware, I will start to think about things like what I'm going to wear for the week, what kind of meals I'm going to plan. And so you can see here that I'm looking up the weather, and I make a note of that on my page here as well, because I want to know what's going to be the appropriate thing to wear. I think this week we had 90-degree weather most days, and there were 2 days where it was planning to be rain. So I wanted to make sure that I had that noted down so that I could make sure I had my umbrella ready to take with me. And then I look at tasks. If you're familiar with Google Calendar, you also know that they have a task feature, which I can't live without. And again, I'm going to be having a tutorial on how to use Google Calendar and how to use tasks. And I'm really excited to bring that to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll help you learn how to better organize what you've got going on for the weeks. And once I've got my tasks down and I've got my calendar appointments down, I go ahead and I start thinking about what I'm going to be making for dinner for the week. So here I've pulled up a new appointment, and I'm just typing up what I'm planning to serve for dinner, that particular day. I have a separate calendar for meal planning, and so I save it under that. And again, I'll show you all this in the Google Calendar tutorial. As you can see here, a little bit closer shot, this particular day I was planning to make chicken stir fry with fried rice. And I just save it to my meal calendar and go on to the next one. So it looks like I was planning to do some chicken garlic parmesan pasta. And this is a crock pot meal, and so I decided to add an emoji just to remind me that I would need to get the crock pot out. Did you guys know that you can put emojis into your calendar appointments? It's super easy. You just right click on the main subject line, and it brings up the emojis, and you can put whatever you like. I was shocked the first time I saw this. I was like, how did they get the graphic on there? And then I learned, and I was like super excited. And once I've kind of got all of the meal ideas down, I look and I see, do I really want to have that meal on that day? So you can very easily move these around and, kind of come up with a better fit of how you think the meals are going to fit better into your plan for the week. And here is just an up-close look at what that weekly version looks like. Like I said, I wrote down every day of the week. I wrote down the temperature for the day. I wrote down some specifics like, what time I was going to work and any events going on. And again, I can't wait to bring you guys the tutorial of how to do this yourself on your Kindle Scribe. So now that I have all of my planning done, I'm going to go ahead and get my outfits together. So like I said, this particular week, it was going to be raining, so I got my umbrella out, and I tend to just wear jeans into the office. We're a little informal that way, but I do like to wear a nicer top. I guess I'm old school that way. I used to have to dress up in like a full suit for previous jobs, and so I don't know, I think it's a little more professional just to put a little effort in and wear a little bit of a nicer top when you go in if you're going to wear jeans. So I got all of my shirts ready for the week, all of my pants ready for the week, and now I'm going to go ahead and get my jewelry. If you would like to see a longer kind of tutorial on this with how I get my outfits picked out and the jewelry picked out, and how I set it up, I do have a video on that, and I will put a card here so that you guys can see it. just kind of showing you the jewelry I'm picking out here, just getting some basic hoops, picked up my necklace, got my rings together, and then I just have these little bags here that I put over the hanger, and then my whole outfit is ready to go. And then while I'm picking out my clothes, if I notice that any like sweaters are missing that I want to wear for the week, or if I just need to do laundry in general, which usually happens, I go ahead and I get a load of laundry going. Is anybody else not a fan of doing laundry? I don't think it's the actual washing I mind, it's the putting away. It just seems like a never-ending task to me. And once I've got my laundry done, I start to get my breakfast prep for the week. This week I'm making breakfast sandwiches, so I'm just cooking some bacon now that I'll have ready for the week, and getting out some English muffins. I'm making a very simple breakfast this week, so getting them out of the freezer and gonna have them ready. I also go ahead and I get all of my vitamins and medicine into little baggies. I've shown this in a previous video. This way I have all of my medication with me in my lunch bag for the week. I don't have to pull this out every single day and get my meds. Everything is in my bag ready to go, and I take my medication at work with my coffee. And since I went ahead and I emptied out my containers, I go ahead and I refill my vitamins and medications. I know a pill holder makes you seem old. I know I feel old when I look at this, but if you get everything out and you go ahead and you fill these up, then I don't have to get this stuff out every single day and just make extra work for myself. This just makes it so much simpler. So I do the daytime ones and I also do nighttime ones. I have different medicines and vitamins that I take and supplements that I take at different times of the day. And then also to continue restocking, I wanted to make sure that I had eggs ready to go for the week for making my breakfast. And does anybody else use these like egg organizers? I think they're more aesthetically pleasing, and I just like to have them. It's not necessary, but I think it's kind of fun. And then I went ahead and I restocked my yogurts and cheese sticks. Just like to have some protein snacks on hand, and the whole family will, pull from this throughout the week. And then I want to make sure that I have some snacks on hand at work, just so I'm not, going and spending money for a bunch of junk food. I'll make up little containers of almonds like this. I just make them all in advance so that I can just very easily in the morning throw them into my lunch bag. And then I don't have to, again, pull out the scale, pull out the container with the nuts. Everything's just ready to go. I also like to kind of have something sweet in my lunch, in case you get a little craving for sweetness in the afternoon. I hope I'm not the only one that happens to. So I will put some dried cherries and some yogurt pretzels that I get from Trader Joe's into a container so that I have them just in case I need them. And here you can see I have some granola that I like to take to go with my yogurt that I'll put into here later. I put it in the morning so it stays cold. An apple, just some various snacks, my nuts, so that I have plenty of options through the day at work so that I'm not, starving or want to go looking for some junk food. I also make sure that I pack a knife to cut my apple up because that's what I prefer to do. And I also like to, of course I need a spoon, right, for my yogurt. And I also like to take some peanut butter for my apple. That's just my preferred way. And, an apple with peanut butter in the afternoon, it's a nice little snack to help get you through. All right, the bacon is all done, and I put this into the oven for 15 minutes at 400 degrees, and it makes the bacon nice and crisp. And then I can just take a container and put them all in there And then in the mornings, I'll just pull this out of the fridge and add it to the breakfast sandwich I'm going to make. This is a really simple way to make bacon if you've never done it. I do recommend it. It's a lot cleaner. You know, you don't have to worry about cleaning off the stove afterwards. And the bacon comes out great. So now I'm going to show you how I make the breakfast sandwich in the morning. I thought you guys would like to see this. And let me tell you, scrambling an egg while holding your phone in the other hand, it was a challenge, but it was kind of fun. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to balance this? So I just take 2 eggs. Obviously, you could take 1, and just put some pepper and salt in here. I guess this particular day I wanted a lot of pepper. And I just went ahead, scrambled it up, and then what I'll do next is I will put it into the microwave for about a minute, and it cooks up and makes it kind of fluffy. It's obviously not as great as it would be in a skillet, but you know, for time's sake, this is a very easy way to make a breakfast sandwich. So once it's done, I will go ahead and pull it out of the microwave and let it cool just for a minute. As you can see, it's all nice and cooked. And then I go ahead and I assemble my sandwich. I toast up my English muffin, I add the egg and cheese, and then I add the bacon that I cooked over the weekend. And it's ready to go, and I just wrap it up and I take it with me to work. So I also go ahead and I make sure that I have all of my coffee restocked for the week. This is actually a candy jar, but it belonged to my grandmother, and it just makes me smile every time that I get some coffee out of there. She was more of a tea drinker, but I think she would approve of me using this for coffee rather than candy. And then finally, I make sure that we have enough toilet paper stocked around the house, because who wants to deal with that during the week, right? So I make sure it's all stocked up throughout the house so we don't have to worry about it, and everybody's got what they need. And the final thing that I do on a Sunday to get ready for the week is that I pack up my work bag. Like I said, I work in the office one week, and then I work the next week from home. So we don't have assigned desks where I can keep all of my products. So I have to take everything with me every single day. And as you can see here, I've got various products that I take just to make the day a little bit easier and make sure I have everything. So this is a Samsonite backpack. It's amazing. Excuse me, there's that cold coming out. There is quite a walk from our parking garage to our main building, so pretty much everybody uses backpacks. And so, this one has been amazing. I can put everything in here. And you can see there, I put tissues, lens cleaner, flossers, medication, just making sure I kind of have everything I could possibly need. And then, of course, you can't go to work without your laptop. So, I made sure that was in there. And then I have my entire bag ready to go, and I don't have to worry about it in the morning. Everything, I can just grab it and go. And when everything is done, I like to sit in my super comfy chair and have a cup of coffee and just count my blessings. I'm so happy you were able to be here with me today, and I'm so looking forward to all the content I'm going to be bringing you. So please make sure that you're subscribed. You don't want to miss anything. This is Jen saying goodbye, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.